there's almost this kind of a fossilized discourse about economics, right? Basically, it's like corruption is the mother of all evil, not only ethically and morally, but also in terms of productivity. The reason I'm talking about this is that as of this taping, corruption is a big issue once again in the country because, maybe the last time we were talking, it was the mother of all scandals measured at 10 billion pesos. Now we're looking at $10 billion potentially. So I completely understand emotionally why people are feeling this is the explanation for everything. But as an economist, as a real economist, as an unorthodox, outside-the-box, world-class economist, and I mean it in a complimentary way, Professor Felipe, what is really the role of corruption in explaining economic growth and productivity?
Oh, in a nutshell, much less than what most people think. Corruption matters, and it should not be underestimated, its importance, but it is more an ethical issue. In other words, if tomorrow corruption disappears in the Philippines, it is not that this is going to guarantee a growth rate of, let's say, 10%. The best way to explain this is, you look at the examples of other Asian countries that have grown much faster than the Philippines.
Turkey and Thailand have almost the same CPI, like corruption index rankings as the Philippines.
Yeah. That means that it is not really corruption. You want to eliminate corruption for ethical issues. What happens is that the elimination of corruption goes sort of the other way around. It's when countries develop. You think that Sweden was not a corrupt country when it was at the level of the Philippines? Of course, yes. It happens to be the other way around. When the country grows, when the country develops, wages increase, incomes of public officials increase, and really bribing them becomes a very, very difficult issue. They will not accept it in the policemen in the street. And the other thing is that the systems in place will improve. I don't know if you're familiar now, there's a big corruption scandal in Spain. It won't to be solved for ethical issues. Nobody claims that when corruption is eliminated, this case is solved in Spain, Spain will grow much faster. That has nothing to do. So no, this is important, and it has to be, it cannot be dismissed, but at the same time, it is not the explanation of growth, much less of productivity, which is ultimately a firm level issue. Right. The reason why our productivity is on the aggregate is very low is that we have very inefficient firms because they lack what we call organizational capabilities. It is not really the corruption, the type of corruption that you were asking me, is not really what explains it.